On the highlight, military plans another Python dance. Ex-minister returns to U.S.
The persons behind the headline.
I belong to everybody and I belong to nobody.
We have a vision for New India, and that is the foundation that will launch us into a more progressive state tomorrow.
And your reactions to the headline.
Mr. Speaker, which level, as reported last week, under his government, 40 million Nigerians are now mad. As reported by his government, so at the next level, a lot of us will be completely mad.
My own is that the fake promise that he used to deceive Nigeria. This time around, we are waiting for him.
Do you want to keep tabs with trending national, state, or local issues? Then listen to Open Parliament every weekday on Family Love 99.9 FM. Omahia. Open Parliament. When the issues are burning.
The man is confused. The man doesn't know a direction. He failed because he was unprepared. You cannot get something from nothing. So they are just trying to find someone to blame for the failure. So the failed.
Very good morning to you this beautiful Wednesday morning, the 19th day of October 2022. Welcome to Open Parliament live on the frequency, here where we bring you the biggest stories buzzing Nigeria and beyond. My name is Mr. C. Well, former U.S. Ambassador to Nigeria, John Campbell, has cautioned the Nigerian authorities against the far-reaching implications of flouting the appeal court judgments which discharged and acquitted the IPOP leader, Nnamdi Kanu, of all count of terrorism charge preferred against him by the federal government. Now, Campbell, in a tweet, noted that Nigeria misfired by backing the extraordinary rendition of Kanu from Kenya, and this happened last year. Now, he has joined the growing calls across the world for the release of the IPOP leader, Nnamdi Kanu. Now, recall that the Court of Appeal in Abuja had last week Thursday freed Nnamdi Kanu of the terrorism and treasonable felony charges preferred against him by the federal government. The three-member panel of justices of the appeal court had in the judgment set aside the judgment of a federal high court sitting in Abuja, which quashed 8 out of the 15 counts preferred against Kanu. Whereas in his reaction, the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, through a statement by his special assistant, Umar Gwandu, said the judgment bordered only on Kanu's rendition from Kenya, and that the government will also explore all available options. We'll talk about this and more this beautiful Wednesday morning. I would need to do justice to these issues and more. I've got our guest heavy of the Wednesday, a recipient of Zix Award on Innovation and Creativity, a fellow of Ethical Leadership from the University of Nigeria, Nsukka, a Board of Trustee member of the All Progressive Grand Alliance, APGA. He's also a former Secretary General of Argon, Interpol Systems Consultant and security expert, Sir Chikwe Udensi. He joins us virtually. Good morning to you, sir. Welcome to Open Parliament.
Good morning, Mr. C. Thanks for having me.
Well, before we delve into the issues, not for the first time in a space of just a couple of months, I would say congratulations yet again, because you did recently win the Nigerian Achievers Award as a Nigerian Philanthropist of the Year. I'm sure you're tired of getting these congratulations, I imagine.
Thank you very much, Mr. C. I was actually pleasantly surprised when I was announced as the winner of the award. They reached out to me and I asked them, all these awards, are there any monetary considerations that goes with it? But I was told there were no monetary considerations. I thank God for His mercies. These awards are coming when I never expected them. You remember I said I was no more taking any chieftaincy awards. Chieftaincy titles. I don't even want any more awards. I think I've had enough of awards. But I thank God for His mercies, and I thank God for people remembering the little efforts we have put in the system.
Well, let's delve into an area I'm sure you're pretty much passionate about, because we have talked about it on this platform, and not once, in fact severally. And you said to have made your own personal effort to see to the release of the leader of Nnamdi Kanu. But just last week, Thursday, a three-man member panel of justices of the Court of Appeal sitting in Abuja had in a judgment, set aside a judgment of a federal high court sitting in Abuja, which quashed 8 out of the 15 counts preferred against Nnamdi Kanu, and urging the federal government to have him released, quashing the count preferred against him. About days, getting to a week, or tomorrow will make it a week after that judgment was delivered, the IPOP leader is yet to be released. This has led to growing calls, like you heard in the introductory part, by persons around the world for the release of Nnamdi Kanu. What do you make of the judgment, first of all, and the fact that the federal government is yet to hit the judgment?
Thank you very much, Mr. C. I'm happy you remember that we have been in the forefront of the efforts in making sure that Nnamdi Kanu is released. Not because we consider him too important or more important than any other Nigerian, but at the fact that we know right now that the problem associated with the agitations of Nnamdi Kanu is the major problem of the insecurity in Southeast. So many people have died, and we have recommended severally that apart from the legal option, the political option of releasing Nnamdi Kanu will bring succor, will bring a little bit of peace to the society, especially as it does the elections coming up in about 5 months' time. That was why we insisted there was a need for Nnamdi Kanu to be released, and we persuaded everybody that was able to listen. I mean, we made our own efforts. We made direct contact with government in different departments to see how we can bring some sizable solution to the problem. But we're happy that Thursday last week, the appeal court released Nnamdi Kanu. So from left, right, and center, it's always been Nnamdi Kanu should be released. And we are happy. But Mr. C, we began to see some divergent views. First one that came from the lawyers. The lawyers told us in no unequivocal terms that Nnamdi Kanu has been released unconditionally by the appeal court. In fact, we are told he has been discharged and acquitted. And we are happy. But a few hours after, the office of the Attorney General of the Federation, Malami, indicated that that was not the situation. That the actual situation, Mr. C, according to them, is that Nnamdi Kanu has been released partially, and that they were going to commence investigation and trial of Nnamdi Kanu on those areas that were raised before the extraordinary rendition. So, with all this back and forth, Mr. C, it became necessary for me to find out the true position. And we went and got the certified copy of the judgment. Mr. C, the certified copies of judgment is very, very informative. The information there is quite enormous. I will send them to you so that you can see them yourself too. But let me read.
I've got the copy. You've
got the copy. I'm glad you have the copy. Let me read for the benefit of those who do not know what the appeal court judgment says, especially our team listeners and Abians, more importantly. The section that interests me so much, Mr. C, is page 42 of the judgment, the lead judgment by Justice Adefope Okochie. See, it says very clearly, Mr. C, I further hold to try the appellant on counts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, and 15, which were retained by it, being charges allegedly committed by the appellant prior to his extraordinary rendition from Kenya to Nigeria. The lower court has no jurisdiction. Very clear terms. Mr. C, another one that interested me so much is the second paragraph. It says very clearly, in addition, the forcible abduction and extraordinary rendition of the appellant from Kenya to this country on the 27th day of June 2021 in violation of international and state laws, the lower court, and indeed any other court in the country, is divested of jurisdiction to entertain charges against the appellant, and I so hold. Mr. C, the consequence of this section, according to them I hold, is that the appellant is prohibited from being detained, tried, or otherwise dealt with in Nigeria for or in respect of any offense allegedly committed by him before his rendition to Nigeria. Mr. C, I do not know what else the Attorney General's office is reading. I don't know which judgment they are interpreting. I'm in total loss and I'm confused. Which other judgment are they interpreting? Before me, Mr. C, is certified copies of the judgment that says in very clear terms that the remaining 7 charges out of the 15 charges, the remaining 7, he has been discharged and acquitted, and he was not be tried by any lower court. In fact, they emphasize, or any other court in the country is divested of jurisdiction to entertain these charges against Nnamdi Kanu. Mr. C, it is very clear that the Attorney General's office does not want to respect the orders of court. And it is very clear that this cannot be allowed to happen in this country. The security agencies and other international organizations must come in. I'm happy with what Mr. Campbell of the United States said very clearly. I'm also enthused by what Mr. John Butler, one of the British politicians, he said in very clear terms in reference to the judgment of the Court of Appeal. And also even Mr. Cole, the Irish Undersecretary. They are all saying that anybody who tries to undermine the judgment of court is trying to create a jungle situation. And the jungle situation will not be in the interest of this country. Now we have a judgment of court. I urge the government, federal government, to obey this judgment of court and release Nnamdi Kanu immediately. It is only in a lawless society that a thing like this can happen. If we must have to have this jungle tendency of lawlessness, it is not in our best interest. And moreover, when everybody in the country knows that the release of Nnamdi Kanu will bring succor to the insecurity, it will bring enormous challenge to the insecurity. It will challenge the insecurity itself. Everybody will begin to have normal way of life. The country will start healing even before the general elections. And I believe the government ought to know this. Disobedience to court order has consequences, and it will bring all kinds of discolorations. It will bring all kinds of discontentments. And I urge the government to please ensure that this is done.
Now, the question is, I mean, just like you rightly pointed out, there's been a statement from the stables of the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice saying, hey, we're going to explore all other options. But what do you think? I know you may not really, with exactitude, know the mindset of the president or the federal government. But from your own point, what do you think would be the mindset of the federal government on yet not releasing the IPOB leader?
Well, I don't understand what the mindset is, except maybe to continue the lawlessness in the country. Because you cannot achieve any meaningful peace while Nnamdi Kanu is in detention. It's not possible. Anybody who is suggesting that is making a big mistake. I've heard from leaders, those who call themselves leaders of Igbos, political leaders of Igbos, suggesting that we can achieve peace in Nigeria without the release of Nnamdi Kanu. He said, no, it is not possible. Especially when a court of competent jurisdiction, an appeal court, have directed, and let me read it again. Let me read it very clearly again, Mr. C. That no, in addition, by the forcible abduction and extraordinary rendition of the appellant from Kenya to this country on the 27th day of June 2021, in violation of international laws and state laws, the lower court and indeed any other court in the country is divested of jurisdiction to entertain charges against the appellant. And what else can we say? Oh. And it says very clearly, the man should be released and released immediately. Anything to the contrary is a disobedience to the order of court, it's an invitation to anarchy, it is an invitation to sustenance of the status quo of the problems we have in the country. We have had enough deaths already. We have had enough discontentment in the country. We must have to strive to have a peaceful society. The only way to start that process is to obey this judgment of an appeal court. And if you don't do that, Mr. C, I cannot see any silver lining in having genuine peace in the country. I do not know the intent and purpose for which the federal government wants to hold this position, which is a total variance. It's a total variance against the judgment of the appeal court. I have read this. I've discussed with everybody that has interest in this area. I've discussed with lawyers. Nobody holds the opinion of the federal government except Mr. Malami and his team. And this is not right for this country. We must have to obey court orders and obey them timelessly with the effects it ought to take.
I would love to stay with the court, because I know you're in court already with regards to the primaries of your party, the All Progressive Grand Alliance. But still on the Nnamdi Kanu's case, I mean, granted that the federal government goes ahead to adhere to the decisions of the Court of Appeal, no, we have just a couple of months to the 2023 general elections. What would be the significance, you think, if the government goes ahead with that, with the compliance of that judgment, and knowing the facade of the IPOB leader over the months, an agitation for secession and independent states of Biafra? What would that mean, his release for the 2023 elections, you think?
Well, Mr. C, you know that I do not believe that this country should be divided. No. I believe in a unified country where there is peace, equal opportunity, and justice for everybody. That is my belief. And I also believe, Mr. C, that the current agitation by Nnamdi Kanu and all agitators in the country is because of injustice. And I've said it over and over, without any fear of any kind of contradiction, that you cannot have peace where there is injustice. Injustice and peace does not go together. So if the country is serious, let me tell you where I have some reservations, Mr. C. I have very strong reservations with what is happening today amongst our elites in Igbo land. What have the elites in Igbo land said about this? I have called a few of them. I've called those in government, those who care to listen to me. What are you saying? I've called a few elites from other parts of the country who are my friends and whom I can reach. Let us seek peace. Let us not just seek peace. We should pursue it. And we have a very strong window to pursue this peace. And this strong window should be the immediate release of Nnamdi Kanu from prison. Not just because of the political benefits, but because we must have to obey an order of court, an appeal court order. It must have to be obeyed. I said it earlier, Mr. C, that what they are doing right now, the Attorney General of the Federation, what he is doing right now is simply jungle justice, where there's no rule of law. He is a party to the suit in court. He was in court when judgment was given. He has certified copies of the judgment. The judgment is simple, clear. Nnamdi Kanu has been discharged and acquitted and must be released from the prison immediately. And this should be the situation, this should be the position of every sensible Nigerian. And I'm very disappointed in very clear terms with our governors, our senators, our leaders in Abia State, and also in southeastern Nigeria. The only comment that came from the Middle Belt, of leaders of Middle Belt, insisting Nnamdi Kanu should be released. Whereas the leaders of Southeast are keeping quiet. The leaders of other areas are saying, listen Nnamdi Kanu based on the judgment of court, so that we can commence a process of healing this country.
By the way, the Southeast caucus in the House of Reps, they have also joined the calls for his release. That happened yesterday.
Yes, I heard, but it was not forceful enough. It wasn't what is required. The force came from the Middle Belt Forum that insisted that this is an invitation to anarchy. That is what we are talking about. You remember not too long ago, Mr. C, when there was a judgment of court, even against the position of my own party about the chairmanship of Abia State. I insisted that you must have to obey court order. A situation where you don't obey court order, you cannot be seeking for justice. And disobedience to court order has serious consequences, especially for those who think that they can get away with it with some kind of baggage. That is not right, Mr. C. What we have seen today that is being harnessed by the Attorney General, I do not think that the President of the Federation has a proper grasp of what the Attorney General is saying. The Attorney General is saying that they will not obey an order of an appeal court that released a detainee who has remained in DSS custody for all this while, and which has violated, in very extreme terms, Mr. C, has violated all known international laws on rendition and extradition. It has violated them. All known, even the laws that Nigerians are signatories to, even the laws of our own country, not even international laws, they have violated it, and they have refused to obey the judgment of an appeal court. It is an invitation to anarchy. I'm suggesting that they should obey it, and then we should commence the process of healing this country so we can have a better place for us and our children to come.
Well, Open Parliament, it is the program buzzing now. Interpol consultant and security experts at Chikwe Udensi virtually this morning. We'll be going for a break in a bit. But just to let you know, you can listen to this program on ABN Radio and TV as we speak. Yeah, I did talk about your case in court here without necessarily getting into the merits of the case, because I understand that case is currently before the courts. But is there any updates?
Yes, Mr. C, the case is before the court. The whole of last week we were in court, and this coming week again, we shall be spending all days in court. But let me tell you what interested me so much with this court case. So every of this situation, Mr. C, I identified problems, and I tried to find ways to see how these problems can be solved. Mr. C, I took part in going to file these documents so I can see the processes that will pass through in our judicial system. Very cumbersome. It's unfortunate. People were wondering. I was with Peter B for almost 3 hours. Well, what were we talking about? We were digesting the problems in the country, especially how it has to do with my area of security. And the best, I realized that there are so much enormous encumbrances in the dispensation of the Tiga candidacy, governorship candidacy. We have 5 cases. One by Chikwe Udensi, the other one by Chikwe Udensi, and the other one by General Ijoma, and then by PDP. PDP have filed a suit trying to disqualify our candidate right now. And also one Mr. Edward, who was so far. So we have 5 cases. And all these 5 cases are geared towards one thing. It is only in this country we have this multiplicity of cases. If there is a case filed by anybody, the tendency remains that those cases must have to be what do you call it in your legal language? You must merge them together, consolidate them. Consolidation.
Yes, consolidation.
Consolidation. You should consolidate all these cases before one judge. The reason for that is this: if in the case of Chikwe Udensi, the court finds Chikwe Udensi won, and then in the case of Itiwowa, the court finds that Itiwowa won. And the case of Ijoma, General Ijoma, if the court finds that General Ijoma won, how would you implement such a judgment of court? There be a consolidation. There should not be a multiplicity of cases. We should have consolidation of cases, and these cases ought to be dispensed seriously. We have commenced campaigns. We are not in the field yet. We have not done anything yet. We ought to go to the people and tell the people what we can do for them. But right now, we're not doing it yet because there seems to be some discontenance. I don't know, dysfunctionality. That's the best word to use for it. There seems to be some dysfunctionality in the system. So we have 5 cases, Mr. C. 5 cases bordering on one thing: who is the candidate of Abia State for ABGA? And we have not achieved that yet. On Monday, we are back in court. Monday will be my last date of the plaintiff's trial. That will be Monday. After that, we are going to give a few more days for the defense to have their own day. Then judgment comes thereafter. But I have identified, in this process, I have identified most of these problems. And we must find solutions to these problems if we are in government. In each of these levels, the complications we have, the problems are too much, but the solutions are very simple. Why is it working in other countries and it's not working in Nigeria? We must have to find solutions to it. That is why you see me supporting Mr. P2D without any regrets, without any apologies to anybody. I'm supporting P2D very clearly, unapologetically. So we must, somebody who has a solution, he has the capacity. For the 3 hours I was with him when he visited me, for the 3 hours I had with him, he said he was looking for people who have the capacity to analyze situations, identify problems, and also find solutions to those problems. And that those people, he's going to visit them, he's going to discuss with them, spend his time with them, and find solutions to this problem in the country. And people like me, fortunately, in fact, when I saw him in my house, I was very elated. I was very happy. A small me, amongst all other politicians and Igbo people, only small me he can come to. And he said he was coming to me first because he identifies, I have the capacity to identify problems and also find solutions. Find appropriate solutions to the problems and ways, which is called ways and means of solving problems. Okay. So this is exactly the direction we have right now, and we're looking forward to having it come true.
We'll be taking a break shortly, and of course when we return, we had on this platform Dr. Samson Orji. Well, he was an aspirant under the platform of the People's Democratic Party, and the primaries conducted by the party which he took part. and he's currently in court. But that's not the case. I mean, the case which we would want a reaction to is where he said, hey, as far as he's concerned, though a PDP man for the Abia South Senatorial District, he would support, if he had the opportunity to vote as well, probably vote the candidate of your party, the All Progressive Grand Alliance. I'm talking about Senator Inaya Baribe against his own party man, the incumbent governor of Abia State, Dr. Victor Kize Pazu. What do you make of that? Let's do the break. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Percent of home buyers settle for their first home when they see it. Over time, we have created a wide range of happy customers by building the homes that suit their needs. Why settle for average when you can have a luxury home inside a gated estate in Lagos? Welcome to Kenzo Luxury Homes, a development by Kenzo Group of Companies Nigeria Limited. Our featured home is a gorgeous private home of 5 bedrooms with a room BQ located at a serene and beautiful environment at Lekki Palm City Estate, Aja, Lekki, Lagos. Finely crafted and designed specifically to give you the luxury and comfort you deserve. Why make this your next home? The features include 5 bedrooms with a room BQ, spacious living room, all-room en-suites, stunning master bedroom, modern fitted kitchen, serene neighborhood, carefully designed staircase, private swimming pool, detailed finishing, and large compound space. This home sits on 500 square meters. The title is General C of O. Price 130 million naira. For details and inspection, please call 0903 717 9034. Be a smart investor. Guarantee your family a secured future with Kenzo Luxury Homes. It has been said that 70% of home buyers settle for their first home when they see it. Over time, we have created a wide range of happy customers by building the homes that suit their needs. Why settle for average when you can have a luxury home inside a gated estate in Lagos? Welcome to Kenzo Luxury Homes, a development by Kenzo Group of Companies Nigeria Limited. Our featured home is a gorgeous private home of 5 bedrooms with a room BQ located at a serene and beautiful environment at Lekki Palm City Estate, Aja, Lekki, Lagos. Finely crafted and designed specifically to give you the luxury and comfort you deserve. Why make this your next home? The features include 5 bedrooms with a room BQ, spacious living room, all-room en-suites, stunning master bedroom, modern fitted kitchen, serene neighborhood, carefully designed staircase, private swimming pool, detailed finishing, and large compound space. This home sits on 500 square meters. The title is General C of O. Price 130 million naira. For details and inspection, please call 0903 717 9034. Be a smart investor. Guarantee your family a secured future.
Welcome back from the break. It's still Open Parliament, the midweek edition with your guests at Chikwe Udensi. My name is Mr. C. ABN Radio and TV streaming this live. You can go listen. Oh well, before we delve into the comments made by Dr. Samson Oji, a PDP chieftain, you did mention that there are multiplicity of cases before the court, and with regards to, in your words, who exactly is the candidate of your party for the Guber elections come 2023. I'm sure a little bit of eyebrow might have been raised when you mentioned the PDP. How did that come about?
Oh, yes. There is a truth. by the PDP against Professor Greg Ibe, indicating that Professor Greg Ibe is not qualified to be a candidate for elections. So let me not go into the main issues raised in the suit. Otherwise, because it will be sub judice, according to you all, the legal people. So let me not go into that area. But yes, PDP has filed a case in the Federal High Court, Umuahia, indicating that Greg Ibe is not qualified to be a candidate. I wouldn't be delving into some of the areas they are raised, but I'll allow it to come when part of it must have been determined, because some of them are very interesting. I never raised those issues in my own situation. In my own case, I said that, listen, I'm the one who won in the primaries held in the appropriate place. So I didn't want to delve into the case of the PDP. So it is also interesting to find out that every of these candidates, aspirants that were laying claims to the candidacy, Chikwe and General Ijoma, they all came from different angles. Nobody is saying the same thing. No, they are coming from different angles, but the same thing they are saying is that they are the candidate. So, but it is the court now that will decide, and whatever the court decides is what we are going to look at. You mentioned the issue of Mr. Samson Oji.
Yeah, let me come with a comment. I mean, we had him assess the prospects and the strength of his party men, those who are contesting for the various positions, and not least that for the red chambers of the National Assembly, when who was reacting to that of Abia South. And here is his word, quoting him now. He said, vote for Abaribe against Ikpazu. It is like asking one to choose between experience and lack of experience. Abaribe has performed well in the Senate. At the time, he was the only voice not just for PDP on Digbo, but for Nigeria at the Senate. He stood against injustice, and you cannot use a man who will be there to learn the ropes of legislation to replace him. If I have the opportunity, I will tell Ikpazu to step down for Abaribe. It is not a must that every governor will retire at the Senate. What do you make of those views?
Well, when I heard what he said, I quickly remember that Samson Oji is a very serious-minded gentleman. I have known him over the years. He is not given to enormous frivolities. He's not like a typical politician who will jump to whatever he thinks that suits him best. No. What he has said is the opinion, the idea, the concept, the thinking of every Nigerian, not just Abian today. Every Nigerian believes that we must have to have competent people in competent positions, in various positions, to make sure that we have a better Nigeria. If you are suggesting that you replace Enyimba Abaribe with Ikpazu, the best thing to do is to look at their records. Enyimba Abaribe has been a ranking member of the Senate. Ikpazu is to be going in with no understanding of what the Senate is all about. But apart from that, where my concern is the record of Ikpazu as a governor. You remember I was a candidate of the political party, and I also contested in 2019, wanting to be governor. I was wanting to be governor against Ikpazu's nomination because I had reasons. I said that what Ikpazu did in ASEPA, I think it's ASEPA or something, Abia State Environmental Agency, what he did as a deputy general manager should not qualify him to be governor of Abia State. So what am I talking about? I was not picking Ikpazu as a person. No. As a person, Ikpazu could be a good man. But the only way to determine who can do a good job in any situation is to determine what he did yesterday. If what you did yesterday is not good enough, we don't want you to do anything further. Especially in a sick society, sick country, sick state, like we have it right now. The states, the federal government, the local government are all sick. And people are sick and tired of the sick situation. So what everybody is saying is that we must have to have prominent people who have capacity to deliver in those areas. So if you just oppose Abaribe and Ikpazu, what Mr. Samson just said is what most people will say. Someone like Chikwe Udensi from Abia South, I will not vote for Ikpazu against Abaribe. I will not do that in good conscience. Because Ikpazu, from his record, what I mean by his record is, if you look at the performance index of United Nations International Unit, just recently released, look at the index in revenue generation. That one bothered me so much that some lousy states, please permit my use of language, some small states, some insignificant states had better revenue arrangement than Abia State. Abia, they don't even come first 20 in the revenue index of United Nations International Unit. Look at the education, look at healthcare, infrastructure development, even social services. Abia State came all the way back. If you take, for example, Mr. C, something like revenue generation, a place like Aba is a massive hub, not to charge extra revenues, no, but to block the leakages, which is very, very important. If you block the leakages and make sure you put in place a proper revenue generation mechanism, if people like me, Chikwe Udensi from Abia State, was being hired by Lagos State government to come and do revenue generation in transport and security, then you can imagine what I can do in Abia State. So the problem we have in Abia is that those who are collecting revenues are not experienced and qualified to collect revenues. We are using touts to collect revenues in Abia State, leaving the 21st century revenue collection mechanism and systems, which everybody knows. It is strange. So there is no magic in Lagos. When I was appointed a member of the transition of Bola Tinubu, people were like, why do you appoint somebody from Abia State, a member of the transition in Bola Tinubu's government? I was appointed based on experience and qualification. That is what we're saying. Somebody from Abia State, appointed in Lagos State, to not only be a member of the transition committee, but also be the consultant in charge of the revenues for security and transport. So what we are looking at here is experience. If you don't have the experience, if you don't have the capacity, you cannot hold those offices. You cannot hold those positions in today's Nigeria. And that is why everybody is considering all we have and we're saying P2P is the bottom line. Mr. C, let me digress a little bit and remind you that in our last open parliament, last week Wednesday, the Commissioner for Trade and Industry, Mr. Key, made some comments about my findings. I had indicated in the process of finding the payment of minimum wage in Abia State, I indicated that 7 local governments were not paying the minimum wage. If I let me tell you why I was concerned and decided to make a little bit of more inquiries. I have communicated with Mr. Soki, if I can remember, about 2 or 3 times. One of the times I communicated with Mr. Soki, I found him a very intelligent man. So I had finished the program on open parliament. And I don't remember if I was the one who called him or he called me. But I was interested in what he said. Mr. Oki recommended my contribution, but tried to correct a few things. Very humbly, respectfully, but straightforward to the point. He said that my date for the commencement of the flyover was wrong. And when I went to investigate, I realized that my dates were wrong. Mr. Oki corrected me in that area. And we had discussed again when it had to do with Amin Abudago and our vigilante in Abia State. He had discussed very intelligently on his opposition to arming Ebubago. And I almost bought what he said because it was very instructive, his direction. That is why my thinking of him is that he's a very intelligent man. And somebody like him, if he makes a comment on matters that borders on the state, one should be concerned. I therefore decided to make further inquiries to find out the situation. Mr. C, let me give you the result. The result is very simple. Abia State has 3 payment systems. The one payment system, because they have taken over the role of payment of salaries of local government staff, which they ought not to do. The allocations to local government do not come to them. It goes to the state government, which is against the law. It goes to the state government, and the state government makes payments of salaries. Mr. C, the initial inquiry we made was in 7 local governments. My team, my ground team, have now made inquiries on 17 local governments in Abia State, all of them. Mr. C, none of these local governments is paying fully. None of them is paying the minimum wage of 30,000 per month. None of them. In fact, Mr. Oki mentioned his own local government or half-year local government. We identified several people who are being paid as little as 26,000 naira. We are doing a compilation right now. The second phase of our investigation, the compilation of names, local governments, and telephone numbers of the employees and copies, evidence of payment of their salaries. No local government right now in Abia State is fully implementing the 30,000 naira per month payment. We also realized that even the civil service is divided into 2. We have those that are called the core civil servants in the ministry, and also those who are civil servants in the parastatals of the state, the ones we refer to as departments and agencies. Those parastatals, not all of them. We did a little bit of, especially ASUBEB. ASUBEB, I think it's education board. Education board, yes, education board. There are so many of them earning as little as 22,000. So many. And we're taking records of them in ASUBEB. And also the tourism board. So many of them. The parastatals are not earning the 30% minimum wage. But the core civil servants, there is some kind of adherence to the payment of 30,000 naira in the core ministries. So those civil servants in the core ministries are not only getting their monies timeously to a large extent, but they are also being paid this minimum wage very, very well. But these other ones, the local government and the parastatals, are not getting it. Mr. What I decided to do right now is that I'm going to, by the first week in December, I'm going to have palliative extensions to not just the pensioners and the petty traders. I'm going to commence by December, first week in December, 2 palliatives. The first palliative is going to be for the widows. Widows above 60 years. I'm not going to give young widows. They have capacity to do what they can do. Widows above 60, 65 years will get palliatives from me in all the 17 local governments. I'm also going to do palliatives for all employees of labor. What do I mean by that? If you are in local government, if you are in the ministry, if you are in the parastatals of the ministry, even if you are working for a private company and you are earning less than 30,000 a month, I'm going to commence a minimum palliative because the numbers I imagine will be too high. We didn't do proper estimation when we did the palliative for pensioners. We realized that it was too much for us. But now we are going to limit it to only those who are in employment, private sector, government, local government. If you are earning less than 30,000 naira every month, we are going to do palliatives for you in the 17 local governments. The essence of this is that we're going to collect proper data. We're going to collect proper data. If by providence I'm the governor of the state, I'm going to use that data. If God decides that I'm not going to be the governor of the state, we're going to make that data available to whosoever is going to be the governor, so that we can make sure that Abia State is a better place for everybody to live in.
Okay.
That is what direction we are going to be taking, Mr. Singh.
Oh well, time is fast spent. Open Parliament it is too. Family Love 99.9 FM. Well, we'll be going to the comments now. Let's see if we could take one or two before we call it a wrap this morning. 0816-1115-955 or 07016-514 or 107. Hello, good morning.
Yeah. Hello, good morning, Mr. C. How are you doing this morning?
I'm very well, thank you.
Okay, yeah, thanks. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Okay, so yes, I remain congratulations from the former citizens as such. Thank you very much for saying the mind of the people, and thank you for standing at the point of the truth. Let me tell you something, Mr. P. The problem that we are having in this Nigeria,
You go ahead.
okay, the problem that we are having in this Nigeria is bad leadership. Everything, both in the federal level and the state level. Now, let me talk about the issue of Nnamdi Kanu. We have been calling Mr. President to release our role because Nnamdi Kanu is a simple intellectual and psychologist. He's standing for peace and progress and faith and leadership.
Okay.
He's looking for economy and social conservatism and play the same to the people. That is why we are trying to release him. Now, it is making him and setting him for accommodating with fundamental and the prudential and the humanitarian principles and dignity.
Thank you.
No,
Let's leave it there because of time. We don't have time enough. Let's do this as the last. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Mr. C and Mr. Chikwe Udensi.
Good morning to you.
Yeah, Ugonna Eric. Actually, no time.
Yes, just do 30 seconds if you can.
I want to join all well-meaning Igbos, Abians, Southeasterners, and other good people of goodwill over Nigeria to please persuade whoever. I don't even know why we should be persuading and begging that our brother Nnamdi Kanu should be released. What the court has mentioned. You remember that in 2015 or 16 thereabout, one of the major reasons why the current president does not grant his presidential media card is on an account of how he will almost jump up on or when he was asked about Nnamdi Kanu. Showed the man who does not have the temperament to become a president. He has something personal about this guy. That's the truth. I don't know what is keeping that him from. I mean, remove sentiment apart, remove personal money, and I would head strictly to court order so that we can move forward as a nation.
All right.
These are the things that led to Ojukwu, he did what he did in 1960, whatever.
Thank
so
you.
we don't want a repeat of that.
Thank you.
Part of honor and justice, and we want to justice people so that there will be peace, tranquility, and progress in the country.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Well, as Chikwe Udensi, we'll leave it here. Time with a friend to have you come through with your parting word. But thanks for stopping by on Open Parliament this morning still.
Thank you very much, Mr. C. We must have to change the party leadership. State, federal, local government, we must have to change for a better Nigeria. Thank you for having me, Mr. C.
Open Parliament returns the midweek edition, same time, same station next week with our guest Chikwe Udensi. Thanks for being a part of it. I'll keep a date same time next week. But in the meantime, don't go away. Interesting programs we got beautiful broadcast on this side.
It has been said that 70% of home buyers settle for their first home when they see it. Over time, we have created a wide range of happy customers by building the homes that suit their needs. Why settle for average when you can have a luxury home inside a gated estate in Lagos? Welcome to Kenzo Luxury Homes, a development by Kenzo Group of Companies Nigeria Limited. Our featured home is a gorgeous private home of 5 bedrooms with a room BQ located at a serene and beautiful environment at Lekki Palm City Estate, Ajah, Lekki, Lagos. Finely crafted and designed specifically to give you the luxury and comfort you deserve. Why make this your next home? The features include 5 bedrooms with a room BQ, spacious living room, all-room en-suites, stunning master bedroom, modern fitted kitchen, serene neighborhood, carefully designed staircase, private swimming pool, detailed finishing, and large compound space. This home sits on 500 square meters. The title is General C of O. Price 130 million naira. For details and inspection, please call 0903-717-9034. Be a smart investor. Guarantee